You ever been listening to a beat, just made you stop and say, wow, those background vocals are insane. You want to create something like that too, but the problem is you don't even sing or have a microphone. You just make beats. So how do you get there without having a great voice or a mic? We're going to look at some examples. I'm going to show you a really dope website that you can find some samples to incorporate in your own beats, but I just want to shout out these couple people for commenting recently. I appreciate you guys. Let's get into it. So I've got this beat here that I made, right? And I'm like, okay, I've got the core of the beat down, I've got it arranged. Now I kind of want to spice it up. Pretty cool little beat. Now my go-to source of vocal samples and anything like that has been Splice for quite a while. So if you want to spend a little bit of money and subscribe to something like Splice, they've got so many vocal samples. So for this case, I'm working in the key of E flat minor. I'm gonna look up vocals. There's usually always these filters here, so I'm gonna go find E flat minor. Now I have all these options, and what I want to do from here is just play my beat in the background, and then I'm gonna go through all these other samples and see if I can find anything that stands out. If it fits really well on the beat, I'm gonna just jump on it right away. But the free website I want to show you guys is called Sample Focus, and this is one I've come back to time and time again. It's really helpful. So I'm gonna select D sharp minor to match the key of my current beat. I'm not gonna use that because I already got one, but so starting out, I just had a loop that was just like this. It was 95 BPM, so I time stretched it here. So all you need to do is hit this button up here. So that turns on time stretch, and then select this on with the track, and then you can adjust the length of the sample. Here's the whole sample that I had to start with.
I keep on telling you you don't come home from nights out.
This is pretty interesting little vocal sample, right? But honestly, I was listening to this, I could do without this part right here. I don't really need that. So what I did was chop it up a little bit, and then I actually repeated this first section here as the last. I didn't really like how it was sounding here. Like that didn't really make sense with the beat. So what I did was just loop that first section here, which sounded like this.
I keep on telling you
and then again at the end.
I keep on telling you
So when you go back and play it all together, everything lined up in order, this is how it sounds.
I keep on telling you you don't come home from nights out. I will be kicking you out.
Just to make it a little more exciting, I added this little delay, so at the very end, right here,
Keep on telling you
but it's just like any other song. If you're gonna have vocals, if they don't have a ton of effects on it already, it's good to just add a little delay, maybe a little reverb, spice it up a little bit. But that's really it. And then I did the same thing here. So this next section here, after the chorus slash hook comes in, I had a little bit more vocals to just keep the beat going. And this was 85 BPM, so I had to stretch that to match the 92 BPM. Again, that's just step number one. So let's say your vocals are not the best, just like me, you know, I could probably do an ad lib here and there, but I'm not going to be singing my heart out, right? So best options are online, royalty-free samples. Look up those keys, make sure that they align tempo-wise. So you might have to do a little time stretch, make sure it's the same key, same BPM, and then just have fun with it. That's really all it is. All right, let's take a look at another example here. This is what it sounds like without the vocals. On its own, it's not bad. Then I threw in this vocal sample that's 130, matches the BPM already, same key, and so this is how it sounds on its own.
You think you can fix me?
And what I did was add this little filter here, so instead of,
I'm doing just fine.
you know, it's really kind of a little muddy. So I added this filter on with the EQ.
You think you can change me?
And then I widened it and used a little bit of this bit crusher, just spice it up. Then you throw that in the background of the beat. It sounds pretty good.
You think you can fix me? I'm doing just fine.
There's another section here that I actually chopped up the bits and pieces of this sample and then faded them in. So if you just select any of these pieces of that audio sample and go to region in the drop down, you'll see I've faded it in with a little curve as well. And then you play it and it's gonna have like a little pulsing effect in the background. The reason I did that, I want to have a little bit more room for the artist, so that's why I used the pulsing effect. My point with this one is you don't have to go crazy with the vocals. You can just add them in the background, just make sure they sit, have their own space, and maybe make it a little bit wider if you're going to have the artist vocals more in the middle. Just keep it simple. All right, one more example and then we'll get you on your way. This one is just a little bit more of an upbeat style hip hop beat, kind of blending in some pop, but what I found are these vocals here. I just had to time stretch it slightly so that it matches the BPM, but it's already in the right key. And this is more of like a dance, you know, house type of vocal sample, but it still fits when I put it over top this beat. So here's the beat on its own. But I'm gonna go back and add in this vocal sample and see how it sounds. And so this is a bit more of a processed vocal. I didn't have to do too much with it, but it just brings so much energy to the beat that I really, really like. So there you go. But now that you know how to do it, go try it out. Go find some vocals. Check that link in the description for that website we covered in this video. Appreciate all of you watching. Thank you so much. Until the next time, you know what it is. Keep making music. Keep it simple. I'll see you guys soon. Peace out.